as square as I'm gonna get it. Still leaving these little numbers.
Hello, bud. How's it going, Larry?
And I'm paper it and draw it out really small end. All the way to the end. Turn it.
Let me get somebody else. What's up, Herb? How y'all doing? What's up, guys? Keep dancing it around in that oil. Don't stop.
Checker to see if that's hard. I mean, water collectors, this is still. Compared to what it was, because it was.
Mac, tell us what we're doing tonight. Speak loud. We're going to be forging tonight.
Black tub mushroom.
Well, I thought we were going to forge. I'm going to make it. Are you working on hammers or knives? Or
I can make a quick knife.
okay. You know what's going on. All right, Mac, introduce yourself.
I'm Matt Kelsay, blacksmithing.
Kelsay Designs. All right. What do you like to forge?
Right now, forge hammers, tools, knives, and a lot of ornamental stuff when I have the time between orders.
Yeah, and as a profession, you're a fireman, right?
Yep, senior fireman for the city of Chattanooga.
Okay. How long have you been blacksmithing?
It'll be 2 years in May.
How old are you, Mac?
31.
31. Okay. Well, can you show us what you're doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm gonna make a small kitchen knife, utility kitchen knife out of 1080 bar stock. This is 3/16 by 1 1/4, and it'll look something similar to this one. This one's a little bit longer of a chef knife. This is made out of W2 stock, so it started out as something like this, cut off about there.
Say, why do you use 1080?
1080 is high carbon, holds a great edge, easy to heat treat, easy to take care of.
What does 1080 stand for? What's that mean?
It's 0.8% carbon,
Okay.
so it's a high carbon steel, and it'll patina in the kitchen over time. So this is also made out of 1080, but it's made from bar stock. So 1 1/4. They start out as 3.5 by 1 1/4 square, or 1 inch square. So it's an integral bolster. So this is your bolster right here. This will be a hunting knife, or a large hunting knife.
So as a knife maker, you have several preferred alloys you like to use.
Yep.
And once you get good at hardening and tempering those alloys, you stick with them.
Stick with them because you can do them. They're pretty forgiving. You can do them by eye. You can do them with a coal forge, with a propane forge. Doesn't matter. You don't always need a kiln. The kiln's always better.
Well, all right. Yeah.
They wanted me to do kind of how-tos on video. They're not doing it on forging on it solely. Since people buy it all the time.
Yeah.
There's nothing out there other than half on, half off. There's nothing really forged hammer or knives.
Flip that book out over here where we can see it.
I take measurements of everything that I do now.
So this like top secret?
No.
Dr. Jones's Grail Diary? What are we looking at here?
Just all designs. Just kind of go through designs, the storyboards, see how I want to move the metal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's pretty. I used to have a huge sketchbook and finish the sketchbook.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's some of the stuff we were talking about?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I've got it. Get off 3.5 inches for define this more and define that more and bring that in and flatten it all out. This has gotten a little thick since I pushed it down, so I'm going to draw it out further down. Now this is done, and this I'll clean up at the very end of the flatter. I'm going to bring this in just a little bit more. aesthetics. It fits my hand, which is a pretty decent sized hand. I usually come back in with my grinder and make it a little sharper. But other than that, that's the handle. So a lot of times people will start this way because that's how they want the blade to go, but I'm going to pull my bevels out. So I'm going to go the opposite direction. Instead of just going straight down, I'm kind of pull in a little bit. Straight down it goes, the sharper that style of knife usually is. Don't want any cold shuts. Now this specific 1080's got some, I guess because it's hot sheen, it's got some slag, so I always make sure I grind it off no matter what, just to darkness in the blink of an eye. Now it's the same, essentially the same size, and you can I don't know if you'll notice here in the camera that little bit of hot shear, that slag that's there.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah. So you always, I always make sure I don't forge that into the process. So what I've been trying to do, that's actually worked out pretty well, is I'll go in and make my distal taper first. So I'll forge this in, the top edge, into a distal taper, which will give me the downturn that I'm looking for before I forge my bevel. Or if you don't do that, you can forge this to where it almost looks like a claw, because when you forge your bevels pushing this way, you're pulling here, but the metal is going to also push up. You're getting a straight knife. But I really like it. Flatten that again. No more tears. No more tears. No more tears. Draw it out, because I can always, if that's too far, I can still fix it at the end too. all the way up. If you need just the tape, or you can stop and pull it down. I'm gonna finish going back all the way up and try to make this all the same, as thin as that. So when I do profile it, it'll be right at the perfect thickness that I want.
No more tears. No more tears.
Just a hand in the bush, 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 in the bush.
Feel it, see it, hear it today. If you can't, then it doesn't matter anyway. You will never understand it, cause it happens too fast. And it feels so good, it's like walking the glass. It's so cool, so hip, it's alright. It's so groovy, it's out of sight. You can touch it, smell it, peaches are sweet. But it makes no difference, cause it knocks you off your feet. You want it all, but you can't have it.
So Mac, how many knives have you made in your blacksmithing career? How many of them you still have sold or gave away?
Afraid, alive, a sin, it's magic, it's tricky, it's a loss, it's a win. It's dark, it's noise, it's a bit of pain. It's sad, it happened, and it's a shame.
Any kind of hammer mill that I have, and I clean up my broken. Finish, and hammer this in, and then define that a little bit better, and then define this top edge. All the way down to the bevel, or all the way down to the tip. Once I clean it up on the flat with a flatter, I'm gonna clean this up just this right there, it'll come out just a little bit. And so this will be profiled, and then we're gonna come back, heat this, and fix this hump. So, what we're gonna do is take this to the, well, first I'm gonna get rid of this hump, then I'll take it to the flatter.
Beautiful.
And then I'm gonna come back in here with the, I'm gonna heat it all up and then come back with a flatter. Try and get this
So the water cleans it up. Yeah.
makes it a hell of a lot easier to clean up. So now it's straight to right here. So this piece I'm gonna have to forge. I'll probably forge this handle just a little bit more. This might have to be fixed. This little hair with a profile, which is not a big deal because it needs to be. I'll adjust the profile, but you can see that with the heat, how it tapers down. This is where it's cold because not because of the water,
thinner.
so it's thinner.
Yep.
Is once it's cooled off and I can handle it, I'm gonna finish the profile. That if I come up here and clean this off so it's all level and flat, and then finish up just this small little profile on the very bottom, so if it's completely even. So when I quench it, there's not a chance of warping or anything like that. And I cleaned up this. We can clean this up with a grinder, just a little bit, it doesn't need much. And then I didn't running it over and get rid of the forge scale and drilling holes. But it's already hammered in enough where it's thin enough I don't have to do any grinding until close to
Explain in layman's terms your heat treatment of 1080.
1080 can be heat treated, obviously in a kiln or in a fire. I usually normalize 3 to 4 times.
Tell our folks what normalizing is.
Normalize it when you forge the grain structure in carbon steel, or I guess any steel, grows. It gets bigger with heat, so it basically makes it like salt or sugar or something like that. So every time you normalize it, the first time you'll bring it up to critical, and it'll start to shrink just a little bit. And you bring it up a little bit under critical, so low orange, and it'll shrink more, and then you'll bring it up to a dull red, and it'll shrink more, and then you bring it up to a very, very light dull, almost black, and it'll shrink to usually about silk, but you have to let it dry, or not dry, you have to let it air cool between each time. So you're cycling the grain structure and bringing it closer together to make a strong knife.
So other than the changes in the chemical structure, what that means to a knife maker by normalizing it is you take the stresses of forging out of the blade before you heat treat it.
Yeah, so you're bringing it back to the way the structure was before you messed with it.
Right, because
So
we moved it a tremendous amount.
So
So this bar was a lot shorter and a lot wider, and now it's a knife.
So it started out as 7 1/4. So 7 1/4, and right now it's, before I profile it, it's about 10 3/4 overall length.
And the blade area is a lot thinner than it used to be.
Yeah.
So
You'll see.
we really want that area to be strong.
You want it to, the tighter the grain, so I don't know if you can really tell.
Oh yeah.
But you want it, the carbides to be super, super tight. That's going to hold your edge.
All right. And so with this, are you going to do an oil quench?
1080 is oil quenching steel, so I did use Parks AAA until I spilled it all, so now I use vegetable oil. You heat it up to 130 degrees, and then you quench it once it's at critical, which is past
So it's non-magnetic.
non-magnetic.
Yep.
And then you quench it.
And then you like to back taper it how?
Depends on what it is. For kitchen knives, I temper it in the oven, usually 400 degrees for 2 hours, 2 different times. So I temper it for 2 hours, let it cool outside the oven, put it back in the oven for 2 hours at 400 degrees, and then it's done tempering. If it's a hunting knife, something's going to be under a lot of heavier stress, I'll temper it anyway, but then I will put the knife back in water about this much, and then torch all of this area to draw out.
And that's a draw temper.
Yeah, so this is all soft, and this still maintains your original temper. So it basically, if you bent this knife 90 degrees, it won't snap. So it's better for chopping, especially for hunting knives,
So how am I in the frame? Can you see my whole head?
No, your head needs to.
It's an animal. Can you see my whole body?
Yeah, it cuts off right at your bill.
Okay. See me? See what I look like?
Yeah.
All right. I'm Bud LaMonica, artist blacksmith, chemist, and we're gonna forge a leaf tonight. So I like to do artistic stuff. I like to make, my style is a little bit different from most blacksmiths, whereas I'm not really replicating colonial ironwork. So I just kind of feel like when I make something, it's gonna look like modern art. It's the only way I can put it. So let's get started. So I have a 1/2-inch bar. This came out of the scrap bin. It's probably like 4 inches long. These are Jack Wheeler's tongs, and we're gonna forge them. So I've been blacksmithing since 2008.
Still, if you get too high, then you'll lose the animal. You can see. But the animals.
Putting a taper on the end of that, and the way I hit at the angle I do, it prevents a cold shut. So this is the start of the leaf. You can see if you look down on the diagonal, it's wider than if you look down this way. So I kind of have a taper on there that will allow me to spread the leaf very wide when I get there. What I'm going to do now is make a mark of delineation where I separate a mass of steel away from the rest of the bar, which will start to stem. next heat, I'm gonna hit right straight down on the diagonal there, and that'll spread it. And then I'll go to the cross peen and really widen it. You ever do any decorative stuff, Matt?
I'm trying to get into it. I'm taking Michael Marr's Rosette class next week, and then I really want to do more decorative, like leaves and stuff like that.
Okay.
I just, between hammers and knife orders, I'm trying to make enough money to fund my shop, and then I'm going to do whatever I want.
Make enough money to spend some money.
You're right. Because I sit and draw out ornamental stuff all day, because that's just what I want to do, but until I find time to do it, it's just drawings now.
Think you can handle that?
Yeah.
So you can see how it's spread. I'm going to do another heat, spread it even further. You can see how there's a lot of mass on the tip still. And I'm going to draw that out and put a little curly Q on it. One more thing. At this point, the stem is not round or well defined. I don't want to let it get too thin right now because it'll be weak. But after I've made the leaf, I will draw out the stem and make it look more rounded. I just ate a bunch of tacos. It's heartburn.
What it gave, then I
Good hammer. It's hard too.
Yeah, it's equivalent to 1045.
Put that more.
I did with unannealed S7 tool.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I learned, I made some S7 punching or slitting tools, and I didn't think about it because I usually make most of my tools out of 1045 or 5160.
see my eyes are crazy eyes. Well, sometimes they are, and so
I'm not going all the way around yet. Just the shape was kind of bothering me, so I'm getting a little bit more leaf-like. Does that look good? I can't tell from around there. All right, so at this point, I'm gonna heat it again, and I'm gonna draw the tip out.
I forgot to anneal the striking end of my punch tools, and I did that, and I was like, man, I'll redress it eventually, but it's so high up, it doesn't really.
I like it. Most of my work in a gas forge, coal forge gets away from me, you know, it gets too hot. And when the way I hit with the cross pane, I like to put some of the markings on the leaf. That's really all I'm going to leave on there. And if you'll notice how the leaf kind of bent, I'm not going to bend that back flat unless it's very hot, because it's going to get weak on the neck.
Yeah, no. And the only thing that's going to damage that thing is S7 or H13 that's not been annealed. Edit that out.
Folding the leaf up, open it, it'll have a seam in the middle. You ever seen anything like that?
I've thought about it. I think I've seen one or two people do it, but not many people do it that way. They usually do a fuller.
I came up with that. It's called a taco style leaf.
Tacos are good though, man. Yeah, the only time I've ever seen people do something similar is when they do it more like a repoussé to get a forced bead, but they don't do it that extreme. They'll fold it a little bit and then come out, but
yeah. So without damaging this dough, let's see, what can we do here? marks there. We'll get them out in a moment. Your other hammers do that?
My other cross beams.
Let's try to get. A little bit too flat for me, and now it's just a little bit more weird for me, which I like. Have I taught you anything tonight?
Yeah.
Self-promotion? Any foraging techniques?
Yeah.
I probably can't show you nothing.
I don't know about all that.
You what?
I don't know about all that.
That's it. Here we go. Yep. She's not very round, is she? Well, the average consumer is not going to realize that I'm just faking it tonight.
Make my own style of rounding hammers. So,
Let's do a little bit of. So I just kind of want to make it look a little bit organic. Some of these bulges in there, you'll see that on the end of leaves in nature a lot. And then I want to, this is just an ornamental thing, an element, if you will. So I want the square stock to remain, but I'm going to cut off this ugly stuff. This is how I like to.
I'd like to know what that is.
That?
What it used to be.
Not drill, but the end mill.
Oh, okay.
See?
Which is weird.
That used to be an end mill.
Which is, like I said, weird because usually that's high speed steel, and you forge high speed steel, it just breaks apart.
No, you can do it properly.
Oh, okay. I guess last time I tried it with high speed steel was under a power hammer, and I moved it probably too cold.
So I think if you anneal it first, do an annealing heat and let it cool down slowly, kind of like you're normalizing it.
Yeah.
Next heat. little over 10 years of blacksmithing, that's it.
That's it.
Pretending that we'll leave this town. We're watching